If you've been looking for practical steps that align with the emotions you're experiencing in your grief and loss right now, then on this episode, we're going to unpack our good grief transformation model to help you find the next step in your journey to finding healing. Let's jump in.
Hey, welcome back to the Good Grief Couch. Oh no, that's not comfortable. I just went to do something normal and I can't because, guys, since last episode, I've sprained my ankle.
Yes. I'm Ryan. This is my wife, Kaylee. If you're joining us for the first time, it's not usually how we start podcast episodes, but
Oh gosh.
your ankle is the opposite color to your skin right now.
Yeah, you can't see it if you're on YouTube because I'm wearing socks, but it's like bluish green as you'd expect.
And if you don't know anything about us, we love sport and we love...
Love.
And we have very competitive natures. I didn't know when I met Kaylee that I could possibly meet anyone more competitive than myself, whether it's like board games or whether it's paddle tennis, which we were playing on the weekend. And you've been working hard at your game, and we were playing together against a couple of guys who
Just playing with the boys.
Who are highly skilled and
competitive themselves.
Yeah, I saw this ball go up and over your head. And I had full confidence that you got it. And from what I saw,
And I got it, but...
No, you didn't get it.
Yeah, I did. I hit that ball.
No, the one where you sprained your ankle, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. It went over your head.
Oh.
It went over your head.
Really?
Because you went down, and I'm looking at the ball going, do I go for the ball still and win the point, even though you're down, or do I care for my wife who's on the ground? And what option did I choose?
Well, you came for me, but
Yes.
I fully asked someone, did I get that ball? Did I get it?
You asked that question, but...
Wow. Everything's so blurry. I don't even remember how I fell. I just remember the snap.
Yes.
The snap and just hitting the deck.
No, you didn't get the ball.
Oh, that's so sad.
I'm sorry.
In my head, I was like, yes, I so got that ball. I was ready to get up to see if I got that ball.
No. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Oh, sad news.
But you've been kind of feeling like your sprained ankle has been a bit of an analogy to grief.
Yeah, 100%. As I've been thinking about it, so I'm on day 6 now. Day 6 since it happened. And thinking back, the first initial moments, I was in shock, right? Has this really happened? Surely not. No, thinking ahead of my journey and my healing journey that's to come. The next day, then that night, I hit the excruciating pain, hit reality, yep, this is real. My body's feeling it. I put my foot up all night. I even crawled to the bathroom to go to the toilet. Hey.
Yes, it wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty. And then the next day was okay, well, I need to get moving. So we had home group, and I even went and did the shopping just using, I got this Mother's Day.
Well, the reason why you did the shopping is because we're very grateful to have a good friend who's a doctor. He's the head of the emergency. And we asked him, what's the current best methods for taking care of a sprain? Growing up, it was ice it, rest it, don't move. And he said, no. If you're looking to recover faster, it's actually that you want to be moving your ankle, even though it's painful. And
less ice and less anti-inflammatories.
Yes,
because you want the swelling to do the healing.
So that gave you the confidence and the encouragement and the motivation to then go do the shopping and do those things.
Yeah. So I borrowed crutches from your mum, but I only used them at Mother's Day lunch, and then decided the trolley's like a crutch, so I used that to hobble around. And afterwards, you saw me. You came in to go to the bathroom with Nazare, and you're like, hey, you're walking really well. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but I started hobbling, but by the end of it, my ankle had actually felt strengthened by doing some movement.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And so day by day, I've just been doing, small things to just keep it moving, keep it active. But in between, rest, rest and recovery, recouping by putting it up.
And strapping it and
strapping
compressing it, doing a few things.
Yeah, using an ankle compression or, tight socks or whatever, or pillows at night in between my legs. So I've just been doing these small things just to keep me moving. And I've just noticed day by day, it's just gotten better and better. Like it still has its painful moments and it still looks ugly, but I'm able to get up and down our stairs now. I went for a 1.5 mile walk the other day, 2 days ago. And so I just realized this is like grief. I'm taking these small moments. It's still painful. It's still ugly. There's still moments of rest, but I've been doing the small things in between and it's really been progressing my healing.
Such a good analogy. And it sucks that you have to go through a wrecked ankle to pull that together. But I've witnessed it. I'm so proud of how you've handled this.
Thanks.
Injuries, I've done so many. You've done a lot. They're not fun.
Yeah.
But how important to find someone who's actually at the head of their game and understanding what the current way of recovery and healing looks like. And I just thought that was powerful, because if we hadn't have had that, had Anthony, our doc, in our corner, we would have been doing all of the wrong things.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I would have advised you just sit and just keep your feet up all week and I'll do everything else. But it's like, no. You actually need to get up, and I need to encourage you in that. You need to know that. And the movement's actually a good thing. Yeah. So well done.
Thanks
for taking the L and and pulling together this amazing analogy. But I mean, that's what we're going to talk about on these next 3 episodes. We're going to walk everyone through our good grief transformation model. And this is a model now that we have taken over 4,500 women through on our live workshops.
Yes.
And most recently, one of our ladies who've joined our Good Grief Club, Jen, she's over in Georgia.
Yep.
She had some profound things to say about the first time she went through this model on our workshop. And that's after losing her mum.
Yeah.
And so we want you to hear from Jen and what she had to say about what you're about to learn in this good grief transformation model.
The idea of it being fluid, like I imagine an elevator, like you going up and down in the elevator, and you kind of get off at whatever stop you need for that day. That makes so much more sense than thinking of it in stages that are supposed to end at a certain time, and then you're left wondering, well, why am I not ending? Why am I going back? And then also, I like the idea of having a little bit of an action step at each stage that you can do, something to help you process whatever you're going through in that step, and also maybe help move you forward in your grief journey instead of feeling like you're just stuck.
How cool is that?
Wow. I love Jen. She's so articulate, and I love how, she says, I can go up and down and, whenever I need. And that's just how it is. We don't just stay on one level, just like a shopping center.
Yeah. So let's fill you in on what Jen's talking about. Today, we're going to break down our good grief transformation model. And what Jen was talking about are the levels that we have in this model. Now, I'm not sure how long you've been grieving or what you've Googled and researched or ChatGPT'd or whatever you've done in search of finding healing on your journey. But 13 years ago, when we were thrown into this, there were no podcasts. There were no communities. There was sort of like your in-person church meetups. There was your one-on-one traditional therapy. But nothing like this existed. No. And only down the track have we found some books by some incredible humans. I think of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who created and was really the sort of the mother of the 5 stages of grief. But, it's been misunderstood for the most part that she actually sat with the dying and created those stages. And, seeing as there hasn't been any models post-death for the grieving, people have just taken her stages and sort of tried to lay them over the top of people that have actually lost loved ones and are now dealing with that loss. And so it's kind of been a bit messy. Mm-hmm. Our experience of grief in putting this model together has been from our personal journey, and now walking with thousands of other women all over the world through this process. This model comes from grievers for grievers.
Yeah, 100%. We're trying to use the language that we ourselves have felt that is identifiable to you and that you can resonate with.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so there are 6 levels to break this model down. There are 6 levels to the model. And on this episode, we're going to start with the first 2, which we get thrown into when we enter grief.
Should call the red zone.
Yes. And when we talk about levels, we call them levels because they're more like going to a shopping center or a mall where you jump in the elevator, like Jen said, and you shoot up to level 6 and then you come down to level 2 and you forgot something on level 4. And that's normal when you go shopping. And it's also normal in grief that we would move up and down these levels, because what do we know about grief in 13 years?
That you don't just follow a linear track.
Totally.
Yeah.
There is not 7 steps. It's not black and white. It's different for everybody. And different milestones. We've just passed Easter, Mother's Day. There might be anniversaries, milestones, all sorts of things that resurface grief in different ways. And so it's healthy to know from the get-go that our goal is, yes, to move forward. Our goal is, yes, to progress through grief. But at times we need to take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And that's okay. So we want to set the foundation before we build this model out together, so that we're all on the same page, so that it makes sense. Okay, so if you're cool, let's jump in. If you're not driving, grab a notepad or a pen, and I'm going to draw along on my iPad here because it helps me think and teach, and hopefully it helps you as we go. Here at Good Grief, we just like drawing triangles, squares, and circles.
Yes.
Because 2-year-old drawings are the best to understand. And,
and with our grief brains, we have to keep it simple. So
so if you're drawing along at home, we're going to draw a nice big triangle with 6 different levels to it. So you just want
5 lines going through
5
it.
lines, that'll give you 6 levels. When we're first thrown into loss, the first level that we all experience is one called suffocating. And that's the experience where you just can't catch your breath. It's like you've been thrown overboard in the middle of the ocean. The waves are 30 foot high, and you are struggling to come and find the surface to get oxygen in your lungs, and you're wondering, will I ever breathe again? Will I ever catch my breath again? Will I ever surface? And so the feeling we get at this first level is we just feel trapped. We feel trapped under the ocean. It's like there is a glass ceiling that we're punching against. If you've ever seen someone, in those movies where they get trapped under ice and they can't find the surface or the opening, that's the feeling that we have in this first level. And so it's really important that we identify what that level is, suffocating, and the feeling that we just feel trapped. And the questions that we're asking ourselves is, will I ever get out? Will this ever turn around? Will I ever see the sun again? They're the types of questions. Will I ever feel air in my lungs? And so it's really important at this level that we focus on really simply expressing our emotions safely. And the reason why we want to express our emotions safely is because maybe you're like me and you've shared what's on your heart with someone close to you, a family or a friend, and it hasn't been met with the same level of support or care or love that you thought may have been given in that moment.
Yeah, not everyone's as understanding.
Totally. And so, the Bible says, don't throw your pearls before swine. And what we've learned about our relationship with God is that He cares for our emotions. He created them, like from joy and gladness to anger and frustration and everything that lives in between. God created those. And if He created them, He must have a purpose for them. And so it's not wrong to be angry or frustrated.
Yeah.
Just like it's not wrong to be full of joy and gladness. And so when it comes to the scripture that says, don't throw your pearls before swine, it's the same when it comes to our emotion. God values them. And if we cast them before people who are not able to support, carry, and walk with us, and share the burden,
Yeah.
we're going to be met with more hurt than we started with. And unfortunately, relationships will fracture and break down. And so it's important that if you're suffocating right now, you feel trapped, that you do express your emotions, but you need a safe space to do so, okay? With people who understand and will actually wrap you up. So that's our first level when it comes to a transformation model. So maybe that's you right now and you feel like I'm just suffocating. What you want to do and focus on is expressing those emotions, but you need to find a safe space. So that's why if you listen to our podcast or been a part of our world, we want to invite you into our community because it's the safest space we've found online or
and
in
know
person.
about.
Yeah. That's why we created it for you. When you're able to do that and you find your community that are able to understand and unpack your grief with you, you move from the first level, suffocating, to our second level, which is called surviving. Now, when we reach this level, it's kind of like we've found the surface. We've come up for air in the ocean, but we still can't see sight of land. The ocean is still raging around us. And we're kicking and paddling to stay afloat. And we just feel overwhelmed. I can't see the land. Will I ever make it back to shore? Is this my plot in life now, just to survive out here in the ocean? And so we feel overwhelmed. The kinds of thoughts that are just bombarding our brain are thoughts like, will I ever find a sense of normality again? Will I ever be able to complete basic tasks again? Will I ever feel joy again? Will I ever get a good night's sleep again? Like all of those overwhelming thoughts.
Yeah.
And so at level 2 here, when we're surviving, the thing that we want to focus on is building basic routines back into our life again. Because what do we know about grief and routines?
They go out the window.
They go out the window. They get smashed to a million pieces. We're just talking about basic routines, right?
Brushing our teeth, having a shower, making a meal, getting out the door.
Like, can we...
For real.
Yeah.
Can I get an amen?
Can I just do those basic things?
Yeah.
And, I know we're laughing, but like, those things are basic. And routines are what create structure in our lives, whether you consider yourself a routine person or not. I'm a routine person. You're a routine person.
I'm a routine person.
However, if you don't consider yourself a routine person, if you look at like, what are the things that I used to be able to do without thinking about them, they were routines that you'd built in and around your life that created structure, that helped you build out a day and then a week and then eventually a year. And you'd get to December 31st and look back and go, wow, how fast did this year go? Everyone's had that thought. Because it's like these routines had structured our lives. So we get thrown into loss and routines get smashed to pieces. It's hard to brush our teeth, prepare a meal, take care of the family, get to work on time, all of those things, or remember where we're going.
Everything just seems harder, doesn't it?
Yeah. And so we just need to focus at this point on building some of those basic things back into our lives. I love Celeste, who's one of our group members up in Oregon.
I love Celeste.
And you remember what she posted in terms of her fridge and the routines that she's put back into her life? Really simple ones. It was some along these lines of pray and make breakfast.
Oh, yes.
Journal and reflect. Really, really simple things on her fridge. It wasn't a huge, some crazy big goal. It was like, do these things basic every day and let's start to build this back into life.
So good.
And she started adding to it now.
Oh, has she?
Yeah.
Oh, go Celeste.
Because she's starting to find that those routines have started to become no-brainers. Natural.
Yeah.
Totally. So looking at our good grief transformation model, so far we've covered the first 2 levels in this model. Level 1 is suffocating, and the feeling that you probably have here is like, I'm just trapped and it's never ending. What you want to focus on is expressing your emotions in a safe space. And if you don't have a safe space, come and join us in our Good Grief community.
You're so welcome.
That'll help you move into level 2, which is surviving, where you might just feel like I am no longer trapped, but I am overwhelmed by all of the things that I still need to do to survive in daily life. And that's where we want to focus on building basic routines back into our world. I hope this has been a helpful start to unpacking this model together. On the next episode, we're going to unpack levels 3 and 4. So make sure you hit subscribe if you're not already on the podcast so that you get notified and you don't miss that, because we truly believe that transformation is one episode away for you as we walk through grief and loss together. But if you want to join us live for a workshop, what should everyone do?
Yeah, hit the link below. We'd love to see you at our next live and free workshop, joining women around the globe, and we'll go through this whole transformation model together so you can start taking your next steps for healing.
Until then, we hope to see you on the next episode or workshop. Big love from both of us.
Ciao.